Governance Watch. Gentlemen, karibuni sana. But before we get into that particular conversation, let's take a look at one story. Can President William Ruto reappoint some of the 21 cabinet secretaries that he dismissed on Thursday last week? This is a question that has divided opinion among legal minds, with some lawyers now saying that the president is barred by the Constitution from reappointing them, while another section of lawyers are insisting that the head of state can still reappoint some of the cabinet secretaries he sent packing if he so wishes. KTN's political affairs reporter David Mudoka seeks answers on this issue.
Amid reports that President William Ruto is considering bringing at least 3 former cabinet secretaries, among them former Defense CS Aden Duale and former Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki, back to his cabinet, the president's plan could become a tall order if an ongoing debate by some senior lawyers on social media is anything to go by. One section is convinced that President Ruto is barred by the Constitution of Kenya from reappointing any of the cabinet secretaries he dismissed a week ago, while another section is arguing that dismissed cabinet secretaries can still be reappointed. Among those who believe the president cannot reappoint fired cabinet secretaries are former presidents of the Law Society of Kenya, Nelson Havi and Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi. Harvey, while reacting to a Gazette notice published last week, posted on his X account, and I quote, "The dismissal from office of the cabinet secretaries means that they are ineligible to hold any public office forever, appointive or elective." Harvey concludes by saying the cabinet secretaries are in the same category as impeached governors or judges found unsuitable to serve. That is the law. End of quote. Lawyer Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi also threw his weight behind Harvey's argument by saying, and I quote, "Harvey states the law correctly. President Ruto can't reappoint any member of the cabinet because their dismissal under the Constitution implied a grave omission or commission." Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi concludes by saying reappointing any dismissed CS will engulf President Ruto in a fresh political crisis and unparalleled constitutional imbroglio. Other lawyers, however, have different views. Lawyer Korir Sing'oei, who is also the Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary, argues that, and I quote, "None of the cabinet secretaries who are dismissed have been impugned so as to render them permanently infirm to serve. That is not to say the political cost of any reappointment is insignificant, a calculus I am certain the president is conscious of." End of quote. Sing'oei's interpretation was jokingly faulted by lawyer Miguna, who commented, "Still sleeping in class, Sing'oei?" Dismissed Public Service CS Moses Kuria, while siding with Foreign Affairs PS Korir Sing'oei, criticized both Harvey and Ahmed Nasir by saying, and I quote, "As lawyers of disrepute, if your scholarly arguments are to hold water, the affected persons then have to be taken through a disciplinary process or a court-martial. This McCarthyism by you Pharisees must stop." End of quote. Another question that has also stirred debate is whether President William Ruto erred by also dismissing Attorney General Justin Muturi. 7 Kenyans have since moved to court to challenge Muturi's dismissal, which they say did not follow Section 12 of the Attorney General's Act. The section states that the president may remove the AG or the Solicitor General from the office where there is gross misconduct, physical or mental incapacity to perform the functions of that office, incompetence, bankruptcy, and serious violation of the Constitution. With the High Court yet to rule on the case, it is very much likely that the reappointment of any dismissed cabinet secretary will also head to court, considering Gen Z demonstrators who in the first place piled pressure on the president to dismiss his cabinet, have opposed the recycling of former cabinet secretaries and called for a leaner and competent cabinet consisting of only fresh faces. David Muthoka, KTN News, Nairobi.
Thank you, David Mudoka, for that. And I think, gentlemen, that's a really good place to start. Ishmael,